Hi everyone, thanks for joining us today. Today we're going to be spending some time on the Haefely DIP116, commonly used for DIPS testing to IEC 61000-4-11. We'll start the video by walking through some of the different connections on the front and the back and getting the equipment set up. Next we'll move to changing different testing criteria using the front panel. And then finally, we'll go ahead and we'll run a quick function check on our test system. The DIP116 is an automatic DIPS transformer allowing for testing AC lines up to 264 volts, 16 amps at 50 or 60 hertz. It provides capabilities for 0%, 40%, 70%, and 80% dips of the voltage input levels and is compliant to IEC 61000-4-11. The DIP116 is designed for use with the Axos 5 and Axos 8 test systems and is controlled via the Axos generator. If you want additional information, go ahead and reference the user manual for the Axos test system, section 12, starting on page 62. And I'll go ahead and I'll put a link in the description below for that user manual. Let's go ahead now and let's take a look at the front of the system. Here's the front of the DIP116. As you can see, we don't have a lot on the front of the unit given that it's controlled by the Axos test system. However, if you do look on the right side of the unit, we do have a series of LEDs relating to the different DIPS test levels, and then below that, a ground connection. Let's go ahead and let's get the unit turned around and take a quick look at the back. Alright, here's the back of the DIP116. Let's go ahead and let's start from the left side and let's work our way right. In the lower left corner, we have the EUT supply input. As we work our way right towards the center of the unit, we have the VDIP connection, and that's going to go to our Axos unit. As we continue right, we have the ground stud, and then finally, all the way on the right, we have our link connection that's also going to go to our Axos unit. Let's go ahead now and let's make the necessary connections and let's take a look. Here's the back of the Axos and DIP116. During today's video, we're going to be using the Axos 5 test system with the DIP116. There's a few connections that need to be made to get the system operational, and we're going to walk through some of those right now. Starting on the left, we have our recessed banana jack cables going from the DIP116 to our EUT supply input on our Axos 5 unit. From there, we have our EUT power connected to the back of the jumpers on our EUT supply input on the Axos 5. Working our way right, we have our VDIP, and that's going to be connected from our DIP116 to our Axos 5. And you will see those do have purple circles around them. Finally, all the way on the right, we have our link connection, and that's going to go as well from our DIP116 to our Axos 5 unit. Let's go ahead now and let's get the unit started up and take a look at modifying some different testing criteria using the front panel display. Here's the home page display for our Axos 5 test system. You can see we have capabilities for surge, EFT or burst, voltage dips, as well as magnetic field testing. Let's go ahead now and let's click on voltage dips. Here's the voltage dips menu. Along the top, we have a couple different options. We have test mode, trigger, transition, and properties. Below that, we have the diagram of a dip on an AC sine wave, and then below that, we have a grouping of different testing criteria. Just as you would imagine in the criteria section, we have the dip voltage percentage, synchronization, dip duration, dip interval, and test time. You can see right now we have the dip voltage set at 70%, dip duration is at 7 seconds, dip interval at 20 seconds, and our test time is a total of 21 minutes. Something that is really great about this software is if you select the title of the different criteria, the software shows it on the diagram. You can see right now we have dip voltage selected as it's highlighted in purple. If we go ahead and we select dip interval, you'll see that change on the diagram. Just like that. For our example today, we're going to keep the values that we have already entered. This is going to make it a little easier to conduct our basic functions check as we're just using a fluke multimeter. Let's go ahead now and let's take a look. Alright, so now we have our multimeter connected to the line and neutral outputs on the front of our Axos system. As you can see right now, we're getting roughly 116 volts on our multimeter. Once we go ahead and hit that start button, we should see that voltage decrease to roughly 81 volts. Alright, excellent. And just like that, we're seeing 81.5 volts. Alright, that should complete the video today on the Haefely DIP116 used for conducting DIPS testing to IEC 61000-4-11. We began the video by walking through some of the different connections on the front and the back of the unit and getting the equipment set up. Then we moved to selecting different testing criteria using the system display. And then finally, we ran a really basic functions check using our fluke multimeter. We hope this video has been useful, and please keep us in mind if you ever need to rent the Haefely DIP116 or Axos test systems.